Guys, so today we're going to take a look at integration of Creatio and Zapier. Let's quickly review objectives for today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at following an invite link. And the reason you're following an invite link is because the application is in test mode right now, and depending on the time that you're watching this recording, the application may or may not be in the preview, so you may or may not need to follow the invite link. What we're going to do first is we're going to authorize Zapier to work with Creatio, so we're going to have to provide some credentials to authenticate ourselves. We're then going to have to create a trigger. Trigger is something that allows Zapier to, or something that starts an action to integrate or to send to Creatio. So for example, in our case, we're going to be using a landing page from a third party. So when a form gets submitted, we will be sending this information to Creatio. Now these triggers, they can be different things. They could be, let's say, creating or adding a new row to Google Sheets, or it could be a Slack message, or it could be many other things. What we're going to do then, after we create a trigger, is we're going to create an action, and this is where we actually configure the information that flows from whatever triggers the action to Creatio, and we're going to test this whole integration. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let me switch my screen, and we're going to take a look at what's going on here. So I've got my Creatio running on my local host. We will be connecting to this Creatio. To do that, I will open a tunnel, and essentially we're going to be building a landing page. Now there is an application out there on the internet that already exists in Zapier. It's called Instapage, and we're going to be using Instapage to collect some information from a user after we publish it somewhere on the internet, and we now interested in collecting whatever's coming to us here from those input boxes to Creatio. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go into Zapier and we need to follow the invite link. Now in my particular case, since I already followed the invite link, I can just simply search for Creatio application. You see that it's by invite only. If you don't see it in your apps, that means that you haven't followed the invite link, and then therefore you need to get that link first. What we're going to do is we're going to build a landing page first. So let's go to landing page and let's select that this is going to be the page that I want to use. I'm going to call it Zapier to Creatio sample. I'm going to call this page as such. Perfect. And what I can do now in this particular page is I can see that I've got some fields here, and this application allows you to build pages on the fly, so you can have as many fields and custom fields and whatever fields you want, and obviously customize this page. But what I'm interested in is an integration option. An integration option allows me to go to my integrations and grab a URL, not a URL, but a token that I will later use in Zapier. So here's my token. Now that my page is published, what I can do is I can come back to Zapier and I can say, I'm looking for an application called Instapage. Here's my Instapage. I'm going to say that I am using this one. The trigger that I intend on using is going to be form submission. That means that whenever somebody clicks on a plus or submit button, that the form will be immediately submitted to Zapier. And Zapier then will do whatever action we will configure here. Let's click form submission. Let's continue. We're going to have to choose an account. So we need to sign in. When you're signing in, essentially what you're doing is you're just simply providing this token that you grab. All applications roughly work in the same manner. Because I only have one page that it's going to be very easy for us to work with. Let's choose this. Zapier to Creatio. Here's my landing page, and that's it. So what I can do now is I can just simply, now that I have configured my trigger, I can test it. This is the way Zapier works. And it's giving me all these fields that are going to be created in my Zap. So when the form gets submitted, these are the fields that I will be getting from my from this landing page. Okay. What we need to do now is we need to create an action. Now, in order for me to create an action, what I want to do is I want to find Creatio by invite. And in this Creatio, what I want to do is I want to choose an event. Now you can create a contact, you can create a count, or you can create a lead. So these are three options that are available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a lead. Now we need to sign in to Creatio, and sign in is a very similar process. A username, password, and the URL. Now I'm running my Creatio on a local host right here. So let me sign into it first. Where's that pop-up? I'm going to say that my username is going to be supervisor. Same thing. And now I need to publish my URL. Now, because I'm running behind my firewall, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a tunnel. Just give me a second. Oops. Okay, and it looks like my firewall has started. And the reason that I need to start a tunnel is because we can only talk to HTTPS. You cannot be using HTTP requests. Zapier does not consider them secure, and rightfully so. And so we need to make sure that we're using HTTPS. So I've started my tunnel, and now I can say, yes, I would like to continue. Now it's going to try to authenticate with Creatio. Might take some time, and if everything went successfully, we can just simply go ahead and continue. We can now choose values for the lead that we want to create. In this list, you will see all fields on the lead object, and there's quite a lot of them. You don't need to fill them all out. You can only fill the ones that you're actually interested. In a lead type, it's a required field, and so what you want to do, you can choose manually, or you can provide a custom ID. So if, for example, you've added some custom ID by GUID, and you want to offer that lead, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Or we can just simply say need for our service. Okay, so the lead name, let's try to create a lead name. Now we can choose a lead name from one of the fields that are offered to us by the landing page. So in this case, I'm just going to simply grab a name, or maybe a page name. Maybe that's going to be a better example. The next thing that I want to do is I want to grab a contact. So the contact is probably going to be a name, and we can see all the other fields that are here. So let's go and say a name. There has to be an email box. Let's find an email. There's an email. Company name, that's probably going to be company. So let's choose company. And we can even have job title if we wanted to. Let's see if we have a job title here. Let's search. Here's a job title. And from here, I'm going to offer a job title. Okay, good. So now I essentially mapped all the fields here. And I can scroll all the way down. I can say continue, and I can save this. Save. We can test and continue. Okay. We're going to turn on this Zap right now. Okay. Now Zapier is being very happy here. Let's go ahead and test this integration that we just built. So we can go to this page, and we can preview this page. And what we can do is we can say that the name, let it be, let's say my name, company Creatio, job title. So sample job title. Here's my email, and here's a telephone number that I decided to offer. Let's do this call to action. Something is happening here. Good. And what we should see now is if we go to creation, we go into our leads, we should be able to see our leads. And at some point we will see our lead here. Let's take a look. Need for our service. And here is my lead. It just simply appeared. So that's essentially integration. Thank you.